Thank you for joining us for Joy News Desk. Coming up, new COVID-19 measures take effect today. We tell you the situation at the airport as travelers arrive in the country. And Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Akwesi Amankwa, defends the one teacher, one laptop policy in the wake of a barrage of questions bordering on the quality of the computers procured so far and outright rejections by some members of the teacher unions. Also, 3 acres of farmland belonging to peasant farmers in Nakpaya in the northeast region destroyed by fire. We'll hear from some victims who are counting their losses. We have business and sports, all of this in this package. Stay with us on Joy News Desk. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? My name is Sammy Forson, host of the Weekend City Show and Ignition right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Well, anytime you happen to be busy and you miss out on your favorite shows right here on Joy FM, here's what you can do. Log on to myjoyonline.com/podcast. Just go on there and you'll find all your shows on demand 24/7. There you can catch up. Remember, Joy FM remains your radio for discerning listeners.
My name is Benjamin Akako. Let's settle now for the details. And fire has destroyed an estimated 300 acres of maize farms belonging to peasant farmers at Nakpaya in the West Mamprisi municipality of the northeast region. The fire also consumed several hectares of beans, cowpea, and other food crops that were ready for harvesting. While investigations are underway by the National Disaster Management Organization and the fire service to unravel the cause of the fire, the farmers suspect a resident of a nearby community whom they accused of setting the fire to collect firewood. The victims, while counting their losses, said they could neither feed themselves nor their families and have appealed for immediate assistance from government. Ilyasu Tanko has more in this report.
An estimated 90% of all the farmers in the community are said to have been affected, with most of them said to have lost their entire investment. The farmers confirmed the incident to the municipal chief executive Arimia Osomolaki, who was in the community over the weekend to commiserate with the victims. Mahama Karim is one of the victims. Before it spread wildly to engulf other farms. The fire swept through the area, burning large acres of farm crops belonging to more than 23 farmers. Large tons of maize crops and other produce have been destroyed. Women have also lost their farm crops. As we speak, more than 300 hectares of farms have been burnt by the fire. Almost every member of the community has been affected in this disaster. Another victim, Isifo Ibrahim, said most of the residents, including himself, have been left with nothing, lamenting that the incident could not get any support from the government. The destruction is unquantifiable. Some have lost over 20 acres, others 50 acres or more, and we have nothing left to sustain us the next farming season. Now we fear hunger will strike because nearly 90% of the community members have lost their farm crops. So we need the government to help us with food items. Aisha Karim cultivated beans on a 3-acre farmland that was given to her by her husband following years of a campaign by NGOs for women to have access to farmlands. The fire has destroyed the entire farm, leaving the poor woman in a state of confusion and mourning. All our farm produce have been destroyed by the fire. The entire community is in a state of mourning for the past 3 days since the incident happened. We lost everything, and the government is our last hope. The incident comes less than 2 weeks after 2 children were burnt to death when a rice farm was set on fire at Nasia in the area. Since the beginning of the Harmattan season 2 months ago, hardly a day passes without news of a fire outbreak in some part of the region, causing fear and panic among the people. The municipal chief executive and chairman of the Municipal Security Council, who paid a working visit to the victims, described the incident as a massive disaster.
I received the news of Nakpaya with a lot of shocks. Nakpaya is part of the communities that this year fire has destroyed their farms. But their case is worse. It's like almost the entire community farms have been engulfed with fire. And that is so worrying. I'm looking at how best they are going to cope up for the year.
The MCA said the assembly has been overwhelmed by the disaster and will need assistance from the top to be able to respond adequately and support the victims.
I want to use this opportunity to appeal to government to come to their aid. The people of Nakpaya and other communities in the West Mamposi Municipal Assembly who's got their farms burnt. Others, it was the flood that came and they gave them bad harvest. We will need their support. Philanthropists, NGOs and other agencies should also come to their aid for them to survive for the year.
The MCA also observed that a mechanization center and additional warehouse in the municipality could help reduce the impact of bushfire and other fire disasters that continue to destroy farm crops, human lives, and other valuable properties each year.
We don't have the machinery for harvest. If they were having machinery to harvest on time, I think they wouldn't have been affected by this fire. So a mechanization center in Waliwali will help our farmers. Another issue that is a problem to us is that storage. The government has given us the one district, one factory, which is helping us a lot. But it is not enough for the farmers here. If we can get an extraordinary warehouse in the West Mamposi municipality, where our farmers can store their output at the end of harvest, it will help.
Ilyasu Tanko.
Let's talk education now. And the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, has mounted a strong defense of its decision to procure TM1 laptops for Ghanaian teachers following widespread criticism. His defense comes as Education Minister Dr. Yawase Duchum has been hauled before Parliament on the one teacher, one laptop policy, which has triggered division and agitation among teacher unions who say the laptops are of poor quality and not fit for purpose. But at the handing over of those laptops to teachers at O'Reilly Senior High School, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, rejected the criticism, saying the laptops are of high quality.
It's a brand name that is different. And we also have a special reason for making that brand name different. When you put the same brand, you give the same brand to them, that's what is on the market. You're likely to have those things. I mean, we are working with human beings. We are likely to have some on the market that may not be of the quality that you have provided, slipping into the distribution process. And we believe that giving it a unique brand name will help us as a way, as a security measure. We also went to the table and then we saw how the processes that they go through to collect it. As I have also indicated, the institution, the KA Technology, has given 2-year warranty.
Let's talk about COVID travel measures now. And it's been over 6 hours. That is the new COVID-19 travel measures took effect since that time. The Ghana Health Service says the Omicron variant of the infection is already spreading through our communities. Now, per the new guidelines, airlines that fly unvaccinated passengers into Ghana would pay $3,500. The new measures are aimed at containing further spread of the disease. Among the new measures, particularly at the airport, we'll be taking you live to the airport now for some checks. In the meantime, the Health Directorate overseeing the Bukom area has announced fresh measures to encourage more people to get inoculated against the coronavirus. As the country takes stock of more vaccines, many people are expected to get vaccinated. However, in Bukom, fears and misconceptions continue to hamper the exercise. Many fear they might get severely sick and therefore have decided not to take the jab. Of the few that have taken the jab, women outnumber men. Again, more elderly persons have interest in the vaccine, whereas the youth have succumbed to their fears. Michael Papani Ashali has been finding out why many people have refused to take the vaccine.
Many people walking around without the fear of COVID-19. Social distancing here is almost impossible because of the dense population. Unfortunately, that is the situation in Bukom in the heart of the Greater Accra region. COVID-19 was first recorded in Ghana in 2020. 2 years down the line, the fears and misconceptions linger, hampering the collective effort to prevent unbridled spread of the virus. Wearing of nose mask, regular washing of hands, and social distancing were encouraged as a medium-term solution to stop the spread. But in Bukom, wearing of the nose mask is not adhered to. Some don't believe the virus exists.
I don't believe the virus is killing anyone in Ghana. I've only heard of it on radio and seen it on TV. To be honest, I have not seen it.
Assemblyman for the area, Carlos Mancata, says the assembly has done a lot to educate the people on the need to wear their mask, but it is apparent the education has not been enough.
But as the assembly, since COVID last year to now, we've tried our possible best. Personally, I've shared more than 1,500 nose masks, both the used one and the medical one, we used to call them, last year to now. By then, we are having our former mayor of Accra, the person of Honorable Mohamed Ajisowa. We use our information van to come to the various electoral areas, announce the COVID, educate the electorates on what COVID is, and also the symptoms, so that in the near future or along the line, when you see some of these symptoms, you just rush to the nearest hospital. So, as the assembly, we've done our best. And as the assembly member for the electoral area too, I've also done my best. We still continue to educate them so that they can max up. Because most of them, for the vaccine, I can see, they've not gone to the first and second jab of the vaccine. So, personally, I myself, I've gone for my jab already. And I'm waiting for the second one. Like I said, we still continue to educate them.
Vaccines have provided an extra layer of protection. It has been made available to the public, but there are challenges. Vaccine hesitancy is a major one.
When they take the jab, it gives them pains. So I am also scared. To be honest, because I don't know what drug it is, I won't take it. When I'm not well, I know I need painkiller. Then I will be okay. But once I'm fine, I know I don't need any vaccine.
I've heard the virus is there. I heard the vaccine helps, so that's why I went for the vaccine. At first, I was afraid, but when others went for it, I also went for mine. I felt pains in the beginning, but I was fine later.
No problem. Innuko no kwalo inakwa kan e wo jami fem ko first no kare no ne yagbo e no ye fenya kwa nya fa ne yagbo no ye fenya gbo
Some of my friends complained when they took the vaccine. They were told to take medicine. The pains continued, so I got afraid.
When I first heard it, I went for the vaccine. Nothing happened to me. Those afraid should go and take the vaccine. Nothing will happen to them.
According to Ashedu Keteke Sub-Metro, more women are getting inoculated as against men. Health Director for the area, Dr. Jacqueline Anita Soa, says the service will in the coming days implement fresh measures to increase interest in the vaccination exercise, including education and mobilization of the vaccination centers.
Since the vaccination started, there's even been studies on women who they tested on, and most of them even got pregnant after they've been vaccinated. So when it comes to the fertility part, there's really no correlation with the vaccine and infertility for that matter. Okay, some people also, like you said, will say that when you take it, you become impotent. It's not true, and most of their fears or worries are not true. Most of them are baseless, if I may say. My boss says as Greater Accra Region and national, we've been having training programs and workshops on vaccine hesitancy, which very soon we'll be rolling out a program in this sub-metro, God willing, very soon. We'll educate the community on their fears. We'll ask them questions for us to also answer and let them know. We'll actually address their fears. Let me say that. We are also doing more announcements, more sensitization going on. We need to get people vaccinated. It's very, very, very important.
Michael Papani, a challenge report for Joy News.
Still on COVID, health authorities in the Techiman municipality of the Bono East region are working towards stepping up education and sensitization campaigns to have more people accept the coronavirus vaccines ahead of the Christmas festivities. The municipality has, since the outbreak of the pandemic, recorded over 30% of the cumulative number of cases recorded across the region. There's more in the following report put together by Anas Sabit.
Ahead of the festive season, the Techiman Municipal Health Directorate is increasing its sensitization exercises across the municipality as a means of curbing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Municipal Director of Health Services Dr. Kusi Fosuhini told Joy News that the move is to help have an incident-free Christmas season.
We are very much aware that during the Christmas season, there will be lots of traveling, there will be lots of festivities, programs of various nature, church, religious, social. So as a municipality, the first thing we are doing is we are having an emergency public health emergency management committee meeting, which is headed by the municipal chief executive, to enforce the existing protocols or measures and then to add on if it's necessary, especially with the Omicron variant around. And of course, I'm sure our enforcement officers will be more visible because we know that during the Christmas time there is an influx of people into the major cities, so they will be doing more patrols and more education in public places so that we all help minimize the spread of COVID, and then we would have an incident-free New Year, hopefully.
He further noted that with vaccine hesitancy, the Directorate is stepping up its education campaigns to have more people receive the COVID-19 vaccines.
You know, as you keep vaccinating, your numbers goes up. Then you get to a critical point where the very willing ones are done vaccinating. Then you start getting people who are a bit reluctant or hesitant to vaccinate, and that calls for stepping up our education. So that's exactly what we have been doing in the past week. We took a break from the vaccination to step up the awareness and the education. As I speak to you, there is another meeting going on in the Brunchampim Hall on vaccine hesitancy alone. These are all measures to step up the coverages for those who may not be so willing like the first numbers we had. So I've been impressed, but there is still more room for improvement.
Medical Director of the Techiman Holy Family Hospital, which is the largest referral center for COVID-19, Dr. Ernest Amiao, noted that the facility is collaborating with the media to increase awareness ahead of the Yuletide.
As media houses, we use them as medium or platforms to communicate and educate, particularly the preventive aspects of this pandemic. And that's how come it became necessary that we met the media today to brief them on measures we have taken as an institution or a hospital to stop the spread of COVID-19, and to also entreat them that as stakeholders, they will give us the opportunity to continue to come to their media houses to continue with the education that we are giving.
He further entreated the general public to ignore the various myths surrounding the vaccines and go for the jabs in order to remain protected against the pandemic.
I will entreat everybody to ignore the myth surrounding the vaccines and to go for the vaccines, because it will protect you, it will protect me, it will protect everybody, so we could curb this pandemic.
Reporting for Joy News.
Well, later we shall take you to the Kotoka International Airport for an update on the state of the new measures as passengers arrive in the country. For now, let's look at some politically related stories. And persons speculated to be vying for various positions in the New Patriotic Party continue to flout the party's directive to refrain from the mounting of billboards ahead of the annual delegates conference in Kumasi. Various intersections and entry points to the city have huge billboards with pictures of key party personalities welcoming delegates to the event. Though the directive prescribes possible disqualification of aspirants when nominations are opened as a punishment for the offense, many are adamant in terms of the consequences. Nana Yaujima has been looking up at these boards in Greater Kumasi and filed this report.
The red, blue and white colors of the New Patriotic Party are visible on the principal streets of Kumasi. Clearly, the annual National Delegate Conference of the party being held in the city is evident. Sections of the Kumasi-Accra Road and the Kumasi-Sunyani Road have billboards of some aspirants mounted. Dominant among them is the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Osu Efriye Akoto, who is said to be interested in the flag bearership position of the party. At Anloga Junction, two huge billboards of the Vice President are mounted, welcoming delegates. Similar billboards, banners and T-shirts were showcased at the Ashanti Regional Delegates Conference of the NPP last October. Former Energy Minister Boache Chermanten Ejako, who is said to be harboring presidential ambition, has his billboards visible as well. Alan Chermanten, who has long shown interest in the flag bearership position. Efia Kranchewa is leader of Queens, a group associated with Alan Chermanten. She explains the group had restrained from mounting billboards following the directive.
The code of conduct, to me, I would say is just a trap, just to intimidate some people, just to intimidate some people's freedom in the party and whatsoever. So, Alan supporters, we are not happy. We are not happy with what is going on. And we are giving them up to Wednesday. We will all do the same. We will also fly our cards. We will also wear our T-shirts. We will also display our placards everywhere.
Behind me is one of the billboards that have attracted a lot of attention from persons in the Ashanti region. On the billboard is the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, the President, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Many believe this is a launch of a vice presidential bid for the Energy Minister, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, but he is yet to declare the real intention behind such a billboard. But to many, it's just a billboard to welcome the delegates to the Ashanti region. The directive, signed by Director of Communication, Yao Boaben Asamoah, bans all billboards and signboards, banners or any kind of outdoor signage with images and names of members with or without the consent of individuals involved within Greater Kumasi before and during the period of the conference. It also directed the removal of all such boards mounted before the communication. Love News Check, however, revealed many of the campaign materials were erected after the release of the directive. The release prescribed the disqualification of aspirants who flout the directive as punishment. Ms. Kranchawa wants the party to enforce the directive to maintain order.
We are expecting the leaders of the steering committee to show us that they mean their words. They mean the words that they sent across. They mean the statement that they sent across to all party faithfuls, supporters and leaders.
Other persons seeking leadership in the party have also mounted similar billboards.
Well, the police in the Bono East region say they would deal ruthlessly with all criminal elements and their unwanted activities throughout the Yuletide. This came up as personnel in the region embarked on an endurance march to launch its annual operations, which aim at ensuring the safety of the public during this year's festive season. There's more in this report put together by Anna Sabit.
With barely a few days to the Christmas festivities, security personnel in the Bono East region went on an endurance march through the principal streets of Ichiman to highlight their preparedness towards combating crime during the Yuletide. The move, according to the Bono East Regional Police Commander DCOP Moses Asabagna Atibila, is to send a message to troublemakers as well as maintain order during the festive season.
We will let them know that we are here. If they misbehave, they will stay with us during the Christmas, during the New Year, till we finish the New Year, the Christmas, before we release them. Now, we have been able to give that message to them. And you could see how they came out in their numbers to listen to us and to appreciate the message that we're giving to them. So we have achieved our objective.
He assured members of the general public that there will be increased police visibility across the region and asked that troublemakers would be dealt with according to the law.
My plan is to go around, find out those areas that we say they are crime-prone areas, and I will blend every personnel with the what? With the police, and we will put you on those areas to police the place for everybody to spend the Christmas and the New Year peacefully.
The operation, which saw personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana National Fire Service, the Immigration Service and the Ambulance Service, is among other things to ensure that members of the security services are readily available to protect lives and properties and also maintain law and order throughout the season.
Everywhere you go during the Christmas activities, there will be a policeman, there will be a security man at the corner, making sure. I know we have some people, you people call them untouchable. Please tell them this time around they are touchable. They are all touchable. They are all touchable. So let's come as a team, work together and make a change. A change, if we focus on the change, is better than we focus on the what? The results. Because when we focus on the change, then we shall get the results.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit.
And on that note of a change, we take a break right here on Joy News Desk. Do stay.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Well, let's go live now to the Accra Technical Training Center, where the Vice President is launching the Ghana TVET service under the theme Stirring Ghana's Industrialization Drive Through Skills Acquisition for National Development. The service will, among other mandates, see to the administration of the TVET institutions in the country.
Member of the Council of State, Akofi Anson, Minister for Education, Ministers of State here present and Deputy Ministers, Madam Mausi Awiti, Director General of TVET Service, and your Deputy David Pra, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Service Commanders, Senior Army, Navy and Air Force officers and senior police officers, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, heads of agencies of the Ministry of Education, distinguished guests, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is really with great pleasure that I join you here to launch the Ghana TVET service. This is a historic occasion and it's a landmark event. We've all known in economics that if you look at the empirical evidence about what makes countries grow and develop, we know that it is not gold, it is not diamonds or oil or cocoa for that matter. It's not natural resources, but the evidence is very, very clear that it is human capital, human resources that drives growth, and technology, because the combination of human capital and technology produces these increasing returns to investments in any economy that drives growth. So we've really known this, and you can see the attention that the President is paying and our government is paying to human capital and technology as a way of transformation. As I mentioned during the opening ceremony of the TVET Expo and the 2021 National Skills Competition, the Ghana Beyond Aid could only be possible when the youth is equipped with competitive skills and are introduced to various skilled careers. Today in the world, we are seeing a movement away from a world of certificates to a world of skills. Your certificates only matter fundamentally in this new world if they allow you to perform certain skills or you bring certain skills with them. I'd like to convey the warm greetings of President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who has made education his #1 priority since he took office. Let me also congratulate Honorable Yao Safomafu, Senior Advisor to the President, Honorable Dr. Yao Seydou Chum, the Minister for Education, Director Generals of the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET Service, and many, many others for their roles in ensuring the establishment of the TVET service. Aiko. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my job this morning is a simple one. It is to officially launch the newly born baby, the Ghana TVET service. But before I do that, it is essential to remind ourselves how we got where we are today. Before January 2017, many challenges, including the poor perception of TVET, the multiplicity of standards, testing and certification systems, and an informal TVET system that had been neglected and detached from the formal sector, affected the quality of TVET delivery in our institutions. This rendered it difficult for the sector to become the key catalyst that could spur industrialization and decent job creation for the citizens of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, government is tackling many of these issues. This government from 2017, as part of the President's plan to transform the technical and vocational education and training in the country, has been streamlining TVET to ensure that the sector becomes a central force of our national development. One of the many initiatives to ensure this is the establishment of the Ghana TVET service. In 2017, government formed a 15-member technical committee with membership from various ministries and agencies to establish the Ghana TVET service. After extensive work and national stakeholder engagement, the committee presented a draft bill to Cabinet for approval in 2019. The draft was later sent to Parliament, and the law was passed and assented to by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on the 29th of December 2020 as the Pre-Tertiary Act 2020, Act 1049. The essence of Act 1049 is to ensure that all TVET providing institutions under the 19 ministries are realigned to the Ghana TVET service. Hitherto, these TVET institutions were under umbrella bodies such as Ghana Education Services Technical and Vocational Educational Division, National Vocational Training Institute, NVTI, Opportunities Industrialization Center, Ghana, OIC, as President Kufuor mentioned in the documentary, Gender, Children and Social Protection, Ghana Regional Appropriate Technology Industrial Service, the GRATIS, Community Development Vocational Institutes, Youth Leadership and Skills Training Institutes, Social Welfare Training Institutes, Farm Institutes, and Technology Solution Centers and Integrated Community Centers for Employable Skills. So we just had a plethora of all these TVET institutions being run by 19 different ministries. Ladies and gentlemen, it is well documented that there is a rising global demand for artisans and technicians in various fields in the global economy. The International Labour Office, ILO, in its 2020 Global Employment Trends for Youth report, confirmed that the skilled trades and technician roles were among the hardest to fill in several countries due to the relatively low rates of youth participation in technical and vocational education training. This imbalance in demand and supply has been a challenge in the education systems of most countries, especially in the offered at the applied technology high schools would be designed as career-based technical education, which integrates career and technical education with a rigorous academic core and industry participation. Industry participation is what will make it demand-driven. The programs will be benchmarked against international best practices and standards. Most importantly, the applied technology high schools will build strategic alliances with community, industry, development partners, and the government to ensure that it is responsive to the national needs and expectations of socio-economic transformation. Government has already designated 4 new TVET institutions across the country for this program. Ladies and gentlemen, it is gratifying to state that all TVET institutions which are now captured under the Ghana TVET service are included in the next academic year's computerized school selection and placement system for selection by junior high school graduates. So they will also be available for selection, and they will be available for selection by junior high school graduates to enjoy the government's flagship free TVET and free SHS for all. This is major. This development is really major. And we hope everyone really appreciates that it's a major milestone for Ghana. There is also the opportunity for those who complete the TVET programs to continue from the national proficiency levels through certificate levels, HND, BTech, MTech, and to Doctor of Technology level with the National TVET Qualifications Framework, which the Commission is implementing for TVET. So you can have a career and a rigorous education on the TVET path, from bachelor's level all the way to doctorate level in technology. Even as we improve the capacity of our educational sector to create a more robust TVET service, we cannot underestimate the importance of the professional and capacity building of facilitators and teachers who will train our young people in the various technical and vocational training institutes. Thankfully, the Ministry of Education has made significant progress with teacher professionalism to conform with global education standards. And strong. I thank you for your attention.
Well, from the launch of the Ghana TVET service, we take a break for business.
Hello, my name is Evans Mensah, and you can relive all the fun and excitement on Top Story, Newsnight, and of course, Ghana Connect via podcast. All you need to do is to log on to myjoyonline/podcast. Search for your favorite show and relive the moment. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Let's settle for some business stories now. And theirs is a job that many scoff at, and yet the service they provide is in constant demand. Eja Peter is a coffin maker, and his 39-year-old daughter is an undertaker, preparing and making up dead bodies for burial in Bokro, a community just on the outskirts of Takrady. Theirs is a match made for business, and for them, business is booming. My colleague Justice Baidu went to interact with them.
Eja Pitu has made a life for himself out of carpentry. 20 years ago, he started making coffins.
I make 3 coffins every 3 days, working alone. I love this job. I don't think any other job can make me happier than making coffins.
Elizabeth Fariba is Eja Pintu's first daughter. At 19, when her father's mother died, she says she was there when an undertaker who had been hired bathed her grandmother and prepared the body for burial. It was then, in her grief, that an idea to work on dead bodies hit her.
My dad used to make the old type of coffins. So when I learned this job, I told him there's a high demand for modern coffins. And so he should learn how to make them so we can work together.
Today, a major funeral is happening in Kijabli, also close to Takoradi. Elizabeth has been hired to prepare the corpse. Her father is the one who made the coffin that is being used for burial. I have come to see them at work.
To survive in this world, you need to be smart. I couldn't complete school, and so in choosing a job, I decided my daughter and I should do jobs that complement each other. So now, people hire her to dress their relatives, and she recommends me to sell them a coffin. We planned this, and it's working.
Ejapinti wants to expand his business beyond Takoradi. Her daughter too wants to do same. She has now ventured into wedding decor and employs more than 20 people, sometimes shuffling between up to 4 funerals she's been hired to work at on some weekends.
This is my job, and it is God's plan for everyone to die, even me. I can die today. And so if people die, we're here to help the family.
A fisherman going to sea prays for fish. A mason prays for people to build so he can be hired. This is my job too, and so I don't pray for people to die. But when they die, it's good news for me, so I can also make coffins for them.
Funerals are a big deal in many parts of Ghana, and as humans cannot swerve the inevitable icy hands of death, business continues to boom for people like Ejapinti and her daughter. Justice Bedu, Joy News, Bokro, in the Western region.
It's a wrap for business. Let's settle now for some sports. Thank you for staying. Time for sports, and it appears there's some trouble brewing as far as the NSA is concerned, National Sports Authority. Muftau, what exactly is happening?
The bigger question everyone has been asking is whether the Accra Sports Stadium or any other sporting facility in the country is meant for sporting activities, or it is for what the purpose of the National Sports Authority is. What do they want to use it for? Well, on November 24, the NSA wrote a letter to the Ghana Football Association asking them to postpone matches from December 13 all the way to December 26. Well, they had stated that the facility was going to undergo what they say is a maintenance. They said it has been signed, the facility has been given out. We are made to understand that the facility has been rented out per day for 130,000 Ghana cedis. But as we speak now, officially, the board and some other people have not been told. I've picked intel that the board has currently been invited to, the board chairman rather, has been invited to the office of the president to answer some questions. We are waiting what is likely to come.
We're waiting, and we'll see how that pans out. Well, thank you very much, Muftau, for joining.
Invited to the office of the president to answer some questions. We are waiting what is likely to come.
We're waiting, and we'll see how that pans out. Well, thank you very much, Muftau, for joining the conversation. This is how we wrap on a Joy News desk. You can check out more stories on myjoyonline.com.